Here's another thing I'm going to tell everybody don't do. Do not patronize the people that I'm about to talk about. And we should have known. And here's the thing. And they're not even a sponsor this week, but one of our fine members of our family of sponsors is Omaha Steaks. And they ship out the beef, and they ship out the burgers, and they ship out the dogs and the chicken and the desserts and the sides. And it comes in a wonderfully professional styrofoam cooler with the cooling thing and everything, and it's frozen. You could use these New York strips when you get them. You could put them in a sock and use them for one of Santana and Ortiz's Mad Balls. They're frozen harder than a banker's heart, right? But we made a mistake, Brian. We did not follow our own advice here at the castle last week before actually now that this has been going on. We did not follow our own advice and only patronize our fine family of sponsors. No, instead, Stacy was talking, I believe it was her sister, who said, oh, you got to try this. You got a thing called Butcher Box. Have you heard about this?
No.
Run fleeing in the streets if you do. Her sister said, you got to try this. I don't know if she even had a coupon, or she said, I'll buy it for you. It's just get what you want. One of those type of deals. Okay, why not? Butcher Box claims that they deliver high quality meats and things, packed on ice. All you got to do is cook them. Same drill. Okay, so to acquiesce, she goes outlaw. She goes outside the family of sponsors. She buys from Butcher Box. And then I didn't even know about this until a couple of days later. She's sitting there going, wait a minute. Where's my meat I ordered? I said, what do you mean? And then she tells me, well, the Butcher Box. I said, well, where is it? And she said, I ordered it a couple of days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. They sent her a tracking. So she pulls it up on her phone, and they have sent this box of frozen meat foodstuffs from Delaware, Federal Express, which I allegedly thought was overnight. It went from Delaware to Pennsylvania to somewhere in Ohio, over to Indianapolis, and at that time was headed on its way back over to the greater Cincinnati area. And it had been out for 3 days. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then it arrives the following 4-day overnight delivery of frozen foodstuffs, high quality meat. And it gets here and she opens it up, and it's also the middle of summertime, and the FedEx driver left it sitting for at least an hour down by the gate instead of actually bringing, when it plainly says on the box, frozen food shit, right? So it's been 4 days. So she opens a package. And goddamn, you can smell it, right? It's halfway cooked anyway by the time it's taken this journey. So she gets mad. We've been screwed here. And she's going to call them and vent her spleen and give them the talking to that they deserve. And she wads this rotten meat up and throws it in the garbage. Well, and I innocently come by later on and grab the garbage bag from the kitchen and take it outside and put it in the large garbage can that goes to the road, right? Did I mention it's the middle of the summer? More on that later. So anyway, she calls them up and they say, oh, we're so sorry. We'll replace this right away. Okay. So meanwhile, they're sending another package out. I don't know that this stuff is unwrapped and in the garbage, and I put it outside so it cooks in the 90-degree weather for a couple days. And I walk out there to go to get something out of the car, and I start, what? Jesus Christ. There's shit living now in the bottom of the garbage bucket. Meanwhile, I say, where's this replacement box of fine meat and foodstuffs? She gets the fucking phone, looks at the tracking. It went from Delaware to Pennsylvania, over to Ohio. What the fuck? It took 4 days for the replacement box to show up. And by then it was melted too. And it says clearly on their box, do not consume if this is over 40 degrees, the food, call such and such immediately. And so she called such and such immediately and said, I don't want no more food. I don't want no more foodstuffs, no more meat, no more boxes sent from Delaware to Pennsylvania to Indiana or Ohio. I just want my goddamn money back. So they've sent her her money back. And now I had to pay the Monroe brothers an extra $50 to take that garbage bucket across the road into the woods with a fucking hoe and a hose. Well, they couldn't get the hose across the road. They had to take the hoe across the road. Brian, you've heard the old saying, why does a hoe cross the road? To dig out the maggots out of the bottom of the garbage bucket. And then come back with the hose and everything, blah, blah, blah. So they not only sent 2 frozen boxes of fine foodstuffs on a round-trip Midwestern journey to get here 4 days, twice in a row, and sent me 2 rotten boxes of meat, but I ended up having to spend money to get my goddamn garbage bucket cleaned out. Butcher box. Fine foodstuff. Stick with Omaha steaks, folks.
Yeah, and by the way, for the record, you can go to omahasteaks.com, put JCE in the search bar, and get a great deal on something. I don't know what, because we weren't planning on plugging them this week.
Yeah.
But put JCE in the search bar, omahasteaks.com, get a great deal.
And they weren't even paying for that. I feel so, it's like I cheated. You know, we should have known, never go outside the family. They'll take care of us. These other people. I felt like Gordon Ramsay. Well, you could kill somebody.